Living in faith means that we live with a complete trust in God, no matter what happens to us in this world. What a great desire to always be walking in a personal relationship with God the Father. But walking in faith is not easy. It is instead a discipline that we must all master. Just look at the people in the Bible who had faith. Abel lived by faith. He did it by giving his best offering to God. And his faith led to his murder. His murderer was his own brother. Noah lived by faith. God told him about a future flood, and even though Noah had no proof, he built a boat. His faith gave hope to the world, but he never saw it. He never saw it because his faith caused him to lose his friends, and he was too old to see the result of his faith. Abraham lived by faith. God called Abraham and told him to go to an unknown land. Abraham had no idea where he was going, but he went anyways. When he arrived in a certain land, God said, "All of this land will be yours later." Abraham made this land his home, but he never owned it. He was living in a tent as a stranger in the land, and life was not easy. None of Abraham's neighbors liked him. He ended up fighting with his nephew, and they had to part company. And he and Sarah doubted God's promise of a son. And after all of this, Abraham still did not own the land that he was living in. He remained a foreigner. But he remained faithful because he was looking forward to the city with foundations, whose architect and builder is God. Each of these people, Abel, Noah, and Abraham, were still living by faith when they died. They were living for the things that they couldn't see, and they each died without receiving the things that they put their faith into. Read the Bible, and you will see that when people live by faith, kingdoms are conquered. Justice is administered. People survive lions and flames and swords. Their weaknesses are turned into strengths. But they were also tortured and insulted, chained and imprisoned. Some were stoned to death, others were cut in half. Many of them lived life in poverty, struggling just to get by. This is what it looks like to live by faith. Why would anyone want to be a person of faith? It's because faith allows you to understand the reasons behind life. Faith lets you see what cannot be seen. And no matter what these people of faith experience, they always see that God has something better planned for them. Now, where do you fit into the story? Are you living by faith? Do you have assurance that you will receive the things that you're hoping for? Do you have certainty in those things that you cannot see? If you choose to live by faith, you will see that you are called to live alongside of all of the people that came before us. That you will see that God has things planned for you that go beyond this world. And that you are going to build off the work that was started with Abel and Noah and Abraham. All of this shows us that faith does not promise an easy life. Rather, faith promises a life of struggles. If you truly want to be a person of faith, then you will not live for your own comfort, but you will remove everything that keeps you from following God. You will not let video games keep you from God. You won't let friends keep you from God. You won't let work keep you from God. But instead, all of these things will be used to bring greater glory to God. So when you look at life, and all you see is a messy smudge, if you are a person of faith, you will focus your eyes upon Jesus, and you will see that God is looking at the bigger picture.